Good morning. Our next YouTube video lesson is going to deal with early American documents. And again, something to get us started off here. What do you call a pig that does karate? Yes, pork chop. Pork chop. So hopefully that'll get you going. Alright, today is SOL 2B that we're going to look at. The different documents from the Magna Carta, Charters of the Virginia Company of London, the Virginia Declaration of Rights, Declaration of Independence, Articles of Federation, and Virginia Statute of Religious Freedom. Now, all these documents that we're going to look at comprises of our Constitution. Is where we get different ideas from each one of these documents that makes up our United States Constitution. Alright, so a quick review here. Which fundamental foundation or principle is it? And again, remember, we have representative government, limited government, democracy, rule of law, okay, and consent of the governed are our fundamental principles. Alright, so our first one, a government big enough to give you everything you want is strong enough to take everything you have. Okay, so that's a quote from Thomas Jefferson. So take a quick second here and which one do you think it is? And this is limited government. Our next one, I can't speed either. Okay, simple here. And that is the rule of law. Power source. Alright, and again, remember those key words. Consent of the governed. Power. We give the government the power. We give them permission. Then the capital, of course, where our Congress is located, the Senate and the House of Representatives, and again, that is representative government. And of course, the people rule. So we don't have kings, or the president does not rule. Senators, the people do, and of course, that is democracy. All right, so we should have this down, the basic principles of our government, how it's established. Now, let's look at how was the Constitution established. All right, in 1215, the Magna Carta, English nobles forced King John to sign the Magna Carta, which became the first time monarch's power had been limited. Okay, now and it sort of goes back to this rule of law, but these nobles were upset that the king was making these laws, but he did not have to abide by them, and so they get together and force King John to sign this document. And again, when he signed this document, it limited his power, and he had to abide by the rules also. Alright, this video is downloaded on Google Classroom, so definitely want you to watch this, and you need to watch the video. Charters of the Virginia Company of London guaranteed rights of Englishmen to the colonists. And of course, you know, John Smith, Pocahontas, the fable story, well, not necessarily a fable story, but the story of the Pilgrims when they landed. You've seen the cartoon of what happened. But the key, this is sort of the first document or government that we had in America, because it laid out this charter was laid out a set of rules for these guys who landed there, but it did guarantee them the rights of Englishmen. And again, the Englishmen were the people who were back in England, and so the king who granted this charter said, all right, you'll have the same rights. But as we see as we go along, it sort of becomes self-governed in the Americas, and each colony So of course, you went over the American Revolution. The king started sending his own governors over there, then the military, and again, this charter was for the king, or for them not to claim land, but to find gold. So, as more people kept coming to America, the more freedom they had, because that was a long trip. The king's arm really didn't stretch all the way across the Atlantic Ocean, and he couldn't control the colonists. Eventually we go Revolutionary War, and then America kicks England's butt. But the first true document, well, not the first true document, but document that gave some power to the colonists. All right, next one, Virginia Declaration of Rights. And if any of you, when you think of rights, you think of the Bill of Rights. So this served as a model of the Bill of Rights. So in Virginia, George Mason wrote a list of rights for the Virginians. All right, and so when James Madison started writing the Constitution, writing the Bill of Rights, he picks out some of these Declaration of Rights. And again, you'll have a little assignment to compare the Virginia Declaration of Rights and the Bill of Rights. And of course, the Bill of Rights are our first 10 amendments, and it's just our basic rights that we have. All right, next, the Declaration of Independence. And of course, everything built up tensions between the King, England, and the colonists. And we had the Revolutionary War. The biggest thing that you probably remember are taxation without representation. Okay, so some of the problems or some of the things that the Declaration of Independence gave us, and it was written by Thomas Jefferson. He's the main author of it, and of course, something that is pretty important about the Declaration of Independence is the people who signed it. And again, these guys sort of became outlaws because the king, if these guys would have got caught, that would have definitely been assassinated, killed, hung. Most everybody sort of scribbled their name, and again, this one guy, John Hancock, he signed his name big and legible, and so the king would know. Okay, and today, people will, can I have you John Hancock, and they're looking for your signature. But one of the things the Declaration of Independence stated, grievances against the King of Great Britain. One of those, again, taxation without representation, the Quartering Act. So many different things that and grievances means complaints. So the colonists had many complaints against the King of Great Britain. Next, we declared independence from Great Britain. Now, it wasn't easy. Some colonies did not want to break from England, but eventually everyone got together, and we fought the war and we kicked Britain's butt. It gave us certain unalienable rights, and those rights are that everyone has the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And again, those are called unalienable rights. Next, established the idea that all people equal under the law. Okay, even though we had slavery at the time, don't think it meant that African Americans or slaves were equal, but really in women also, that it was all men, white men, that were equal under the law. You've got this dramatic reading as actors, athletes, and so forth. I want you to watch this. It's on Google Classroom, dramatic reading of the Declaration of Independence. Also, you've got an assignment, Too Late to Apologize, a pretty good video for you to watch, and your assignment is going to be what was too late to apologize. Okay, so it's a little bit sort of funny, a little bit funny talking about separating from England with the Declaration of Independence. All right, so this is also will be an assignment for you to do. Left side of your notebook, divide your paper into 4 squares. Label each square for one document learned today, and illustrate. Illustration is a picture. So draw a picture of the Magna Carta, Virginia Company of London, Virginia Declaration of Rights, and the Declaration of Independence. And again, the PowerPoints or in Google Classroom, so you'll have to come back and do this. Will be a great review for you. All right, more early American documents. Again, little cartoon here. Why did the golfer change his socks? He had a hole in one. All right. Now, what is the main point of each of the 4 documents we discussed earlier from page 3 here? All right, Virginia Statute of Religious Freedom. Okay, excuse me, let's go back here. Main points again: Declaration of Independence gave us our independence from Great Britain. The Charters of the Virginia Company of London guaranteed us rights. The Magna Carta limited the power of the king for the first time, and the Virginia Declaration of Rights was a model for the Bill of Rights. All right, Virginia Statute of Religious Freedom, written by Thomas Jefferson also, and again, just stated our freedom of religion, that the government cannot declare any type of religion. We have the freedom to practice any type of religion or not to practice religion. Again, this is in our first amendment, freedom of religion. All right, the Articles of Confederation, which after we won the Revolutionary War, we had to have some type of government. So this is our first form of government that we had in America. It was called the Articles of Confederation. And again, established first form of national government for the independent states. And again, those 13 colonies became states. Maintained the major powers resided with the individual states, and this is where we get in trouble with the Articles of Confederation, because the states had more power than the federal government did. Okay, so each state had its own power. Weaknesses of the central government: no power to tax. All right, and of course, where does government get their money from? Tax. So taxes. Federal government was weak. They couldn't enforce laws. They could make laws, but they couldn't enforce it. Led to the writing of the U.S. Constitution. Now, there was no president, because at this time now, the colonies or the states did not want a strong federal government because of what they just went through with the king, and they didn't want one person. They didn't want a king. They didn't want a president that could possibly control what they were going to do. And because the articles were so weak, this led to the writing of the U.S. Constitution. Constitution of the United States, including the Bill of Rights, which we talked about earlier, came from the Declaration. Parts of it came from the Declaration of Rights. James Madison writes the Constitution of the United States, established the structure of the U.S. government. Now, when they had the Constitutional Convention in Philadelphia, they actually were committing treason. All right, because they will actually go to Philadelphia to revise the articles. But some people, like William Randolph, the governor of Virginia, came in, and James Madison, they came in with a new government. And again, this is why this was treason. They threw away the Articles of Confederation and created the U.S. Constitution. So no one knew what they was doing. If they did, they might have caused an uproar with the people that this group had came in and decided to change the government in America. So, Constitution establishes the structure of the U.S. government, guarantees equality under the law with majority rule, and the rights of the minority protected. And again, when we go vote, who wins? The majority wins, but we minorities still have our rights that are protected. Affirms individual worth and dignity of all people. Protects the fundamental freedoms of religion, speech, press, assembly, and petition, which is our First Amendment. And the Bill of Rights are the first 10 amendments, which are additional rights that we have in America. All right, on the left-hand side of your notebook, I want you to draw lines so that the page is divided into 3 rectangles. Okay, each one illustrate the Articles of Confederation, illustrate the Virginia Statute of Religious Freedom, and the U.S. Constitution. Okay, and also there is a video I want you to watch on the Constitution, the writing of the Constitution, short one. So you have that in Google Classroom also. So illustration of that. And again, the main points of the Articles of Confederation, that it was weak. Okay, and reason it was weak: no power to tax. The states had all the power. Virginia Statute of Religious Freedom again, the power. It gave us the right to practice religion. The government cannot set one type of religion to us, and it's in our First Amendment, freedom of religion, from Thomas Jefferson. And in the U.S. Constitution, the main author was James Madison, and it gave us a new form of government. Now, when they did write the U.S. Constitution, they thought maybe in 30 years or so that the people would have to get back together, our leaders, and revise the U.S. Constitution or come up with a new government. But our founding fathers did such a great job of making it flexible, and it was able to expand and stretch with sort of like elastic, what elastic does, and with what they did with the amendments and how to amend this Constitution, which we only have 27 since the late 1700s. So this document they made has withstood many things. One is time, wars, and many different problems in America. So make sure you study these documents, and of course you will have a quiz and other assignments to come. You guys have a great day.